With fears of an all-out war between Israel and Iran, the United Nations Security Council is undertaking a vote on Palestine's bid for a full United Nations membership. What is interesting is this. The State of Israel and the United States are set to block this Palestinian bid, as this would essentially mean recognizing an independent, sovereign Palestinian state. During the United Nations session, the chief of the global body, Antonio Guterres, has warned that West Asia is in fact on the brink of a full-scale regional conflict.
Recent days have seen a perilous escalation in words and deeds. One miscalculation, one miscommunication, one mistake could lead to the unthinkable, a full-scale regional conflict that would be devastating for all involved and for the rest of the world. The moment of maximum peril must be a time for maximum restraint.
Now, the 15-member council will also hold a vote on a draft resolution that recommends the 193-member United Nations General Assembly to admit Palestine as a member. The resolution needs at least about 9 votes in favour and no vetoes by the P5, which includes the United States, Britain, France, Russia and China, to pass. It is expected that resolution could of course garner support of around 13 members, which could force the United States to opt for the veto. Now, Washington's stance is that an independent Palestinian state should get established through direct negotiations between Israel and Palestine and not at an international body such as the United Nations. Now, the membership bid needs to be approved by the Security Council and then at least about 2/3 of the General Assembly. Now, Israel's United Nations ambassador Gilad Erdan has said that Palestine fails to meet the criteria to become a full United Nations member, which includes a permanent population, defined territory, government and also a capacity to enter into relations with other nations.
The Palestinian Authority not only have not condemned the October 7th massacre, they are also paying monthly salaries to all the terrorists that took part in it, rewarding the rapists. This is a genocide-loving entity that doesn't deserve any status here.
All right, so that is how the Israelis, of course, are trying to block the bid by the Palestinians to be recognized in the United Nations as a full member. So what is the Palestinian position as it stands at this moment? Well, it is a non-member observer state. It is a de facto recognition of statehood that was granted by the United Nations General Assembly back in 2012, and even its observer status was opposed tooth and nail by the State of Israel.
Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Morocco, Namibia, the kingdom.
Reasons for him to continue the killing.
Now, the Palestinian push for a full United Nations membership has intensified with Israeli bombings that have increased on the besieged Gaza Strip. Now, Israel's ongoing assault in Gaza has killed over 33,000 Palestinians.
Reasons for him to continue the killing.
All right, now to give us more updates on this developing story, we're being joined in by our correspondent Susan Tehrani, who's based out of New York. Now, Susan, in the month of January, we were hearing reports that the United States could potentially recognize an independent Palestinian state. But when it comes to the question of, giving membership at the United Nations for Palestine, it is being said that along with the State of Israel, it is the United States which appears to be opposed to the idea of granting full United Nations membership to the Palestinians.
Yeah, that's correct. And then now we're hearing that despite the fact that there was a sense of consensus, at least reports that we're hearing in the past 2 weeks since Malta assumed the presidency of the Security Council, aside from the United States and Israel, there are a handful of other countries that just want more time to realize how this statehood would happen. And one of the reasons for that is because the Palestinian Authority really doesn't have an authority, for lack of a better word, over Palestine. And who would be the government of that Palestinian state? Would it be Hamas? Would it be the Palestinian Authority, which is really toothless? So there are a lot of questions regarding that. And this issue of statehood really comes at a very sensitive time. It comes at a time not only between this war between Israel and Gaza, but also what's happening with Iran and Israel. We do know that this vote is expected to take place either later this afternoon or tomorrow with the presence of Iran's foreign minister. So that's something to be mindful of as well, and take a look and see whether or not him being here in New York will be maybe effective in garnering some support, or, you know, are we going to not see this statehood happen once again because of just the sensitivity of the time right now?
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed, Susan Tehrani, for joining us and getting us those insights there. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.